What's up, guys? Welcome back to AFOL TV. If you've been with us for a while, you know that we've kind of gone through a few different transitions in the garage, which is basically our new studio, which we moved to over a year ago. And I know that this is a little bit different of a format than you're used to, but I actually just wanted to touch base with you guys and kind of let you know where we're at with the project, kind of what we have in store for the future, and ask you guys for some of your opinions because there's a few different ways we could take the city, and we wanted to get your input. So, for starters, as you guys know, we've been working on the new city layout, which we changed probably about 2 or 3 months ago now, and it's coming along great. We did a recent update video where we had the largest skyscraper ever put into the city, and that was really exciting. But the city itself is still not quite where we want it to be. And there's 3 different paths that we could go down, and that's why we want your guys' opinion. The first being that we continue with what we're doing, and if you haven't seen our recent videos, be sure that you go and check those out because they'll give you a really good sense of where we came from as to where we are headed, hopefully, and where we are now. But it also kind of gives you a sense of the space constraints that we have and just the garage as a whole. So the first option is to continue down this path and continue building the city like you guys see it, minifig scale, kind of a beach overlay, Miami/California feel. I mean, we're based here in California, and it's kind of been, just rebuilding our backyard, for example. Our beach has become really famous, and you guys seem to really like it. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 would be a completely different, completely different direction, and that is to go microscale. And before you freak out and say absolutely not, just hear me out real quick. When we started the channel in 2020, the goal was actually to build a microscale city, and all of our original builds were completely structured around microscale. And the beauty of microscale is that you can fit a lot of different builds into an area. And obviously in California, where we're very constrained on space and real estate is very expensive, it was an attractive option to us because it allowed us to build massive cities at a very small scale, therefore packing in more and more detail. And so if we went microscale, the goal would be to essentially kind of have an area like we do now where it's beach and that kind of scene. But then also maybe have like a New York area or a Chicago area, and then maybe like a Wild West or like Las Vegas area, and then mix in some other areas like snow and other like cool areas like that. So from just a different build and just kind of trying new things perspective, that does sound really nice, truthfully, because right now we're kind of locked into just one theme because that's all we can fit in the space. So I guess that would be option number 2. Option number 3 would be to do kind of like a hybrid model where we continue building like the minifig airport, for example, and some of the minifig areas, but then also scrap half the city and turn it into a microscale area. So you're getting kind of the best of both worlds. Here's the issue that we're running into is even though we still have space to build out the big city as a whole right now, we're probably going to be out of space in about a year. We were running some numbers and kind of trying to figure out where we could put stuff, and it seems to be about a year left with the space as a whole. And with the real estate market right now and everything going on, it isn't practical to move to a new place, and office space around us or warehouse space is astronomically expensive. On top of that, Lego over the last year or so, even longer, just due to inflation and their own, practices, have increased the prices for bricks substantially. I mean, it is far more expensive now than it was 2 years ago or even 10 years ago. And it's really starting to add up. And I think, sure, we have space constraints, but I actually think that the cost of bricks is what is holding us back the most because we have to save up each month, figure out how much we want to buy. And then, we get 1 or 2 skyscrapers or maybe some vehicles out of it, but then we're on to the next month where we're, saving and waiting to save up for the next item. And so I think if we were to go microscale, we could do builds much more often, put out videos much more often. And I think it would just be like a really impressive whole entire world, basically, because you'd have all these different areas of snow and desert and city, etc. So it'd be some really creative builds, but we would lose minifig scale. So that's kind of the dilemma right now. And, we're continuing on with the minifig scale as it is. You guys have seen in the recent videos. But we just want to throw that out and see, what do you guys think? Would you like to see us completely pivot and go microscale just to completely change things up? Do you want to keep seeing the current city get built, or do you want to see a hybrid? We'd love to hear your input. leave a vote down in the comments below, and we will tally it up at the end and try and get a good sense of which direction we should go. But we do want to thank you guys for being subscribers for however long you've been with us, if it's 2 years or most recently. But we love all you guys, and we definitely read all of your feedback. So curious to hear your thoughts, and we'll see you next video.